Today I want to share with you something that completely transformed my life over around about the last 5 years. A few years ago, I cracked the code on why the rich and successful get super rich and successful and the rest of us basically stay still. It's because the rich and the successful achieve in 90 days what most of us would achieve in an entire year. So today I'm going to be teaching you the 90-day blueprint that my billionaire mentor taught me. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to plan the next 90 days like the rich, whether it's for trading crypto or for any other area of your life. So many years ago, I had a business mentor and he would coach me on my last business before I immersed myself into the world of crypto and investing. And he taught me about this thing called the 90-day business blueprint. And ever since then, I've been using this business blueprint to plan out my 90 days, no matter what I was actually hoping to achieve. It was originally designed for business. And when I used it for that purpose, I ended up launching a business that within its first month became a 6-figure business. And then before it was even 6 months old, it was a 7-figure business. But I then realized this doesn't have to strictly be used on business. There is no reason why I can't apply this blueprint to anything that is important to me in my life, whether it's my health, my relationships, investing, and even trading. So then I started using that same blueprint principle and applying it to everything in my life. And that's how I was able to grow my trading account to get to the point where I could call myself a full-time trader in only a 6-month period of time. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use this exact same blueprint to fast track any goals that you have in your life, whether they be crypto trading goals, investing goals, like whatever it is, you can use this framework. So let's talk about why this is so powerful and why you should follow it. Most people, when they make long-term plans, they will usually plan for what they want to achieve over a 1 year or more time frame. But what I learned from my mentor is that the rich and successful plan quarter by quarter, and they treat 90 days like it's a whole year, meaning what would take us a year to achieve, they achieve in 90 days. Whilst we're at the Christmas party talking about New Year's resolutions, they're at the Christmas party talking about their quarter 2 goals. Mind blowing. So why would they do this? Well, first of all, shorter time frames help to create a sense of urgency, and they also help to maintain focus and build momentum. It's easier to stay motivated and to adjust your strategies quickly when they're shorter time frames. Therefore, your action steps feel more achievable and therefore they're less overwhelming. For example, let's just say you want to make an extra $120,000 a year. Now that number might feel so big that it feels a little bit unrealistic to you, and that can be demotivating. But if you break that number down into 1 month, then 1 week, then 1 day goals, you now only need to achieve $328 per day. Sounds a lot better, right? Okay then, so let's do this. Let's set up your 90-day, insert the area of your life, blueprint. So step 1 is to plan your environment. Now, this isn't technically part of the blueprint. It's a step that I have added in. And what it basically means is to put yourself in an environment that inspires you. When I manifest or make plans or something like that, I find that being in a good environment that inspires me, that is a level up from the life I have now, it puts me in a better frame of mind, because sitting in this moment of manifesting and feeling gratitude and all that sort of stuff, it motivates me to want to make that environment my everyday life. And that's what keeps me striving every day. Now, you don't have to pay for this environment. It can be, as simple as going to a beach that is a really beautiful beach that you enjoy going to, but you just don't go to all that often, or a beautiful park, or a really nice restaurant that you like going to, or it could even be the lobby of a 5-star hotel. As an example, let me show you where I've chosen to do this today. Okay, so now that you have your environment set up right, we can move on to step 2. Step 2, which is the actual step 1, but without my insertion. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, well, step 1 is going to be to define my goal. But no, you're wrong. What we're actually going to start with is defining what can hurt you. Now, there's a bit of psychology behind this, because picture this. You're in a really beautiful environment. You're somewhere that inspires you and motivates you, and you're ready to take that leap into the next version of yourself, the next phase of your life. You want to improve your 90 days. You're feeling great, all this sort of stuff. Now you have to think of the pain of what could stop you from achieving it. It doesn't feel good. As humans, we move away from pain and we move towards pleasure. So by being in a place that's making you feel that pleasure and now being taken back to the place that causes you pain, we have to confront it. It's going to make that pain feel that much worse, and you need that because that's going to give you the motivation to make sure you move towards the pleasure. So because we don't want pain, we have to identify what can hurt us or what can stop us from achieving our 90-day goals within this 90-day time frame. Let me give you an example. There's something I see traders say all the time, and it irritates me so bad. And I know it's a joke, but I really wish that people wouldn't do this to themselves. The statement is, I've just opened a long position, so now the market will dump. Like, I know that that's meant as a joke, but what are you actually doing to yourself? What is the story that you are telling yourself when you make jokes like that? I mean, do those thoughts really serve you? You're essentially telling yourself, whatever decision I make, it's going to be the wrong one. And I just have resigned to that. Now, does a thought like this move you towards pleasure, or does it keep you stuck in pain? And this is what I mean. So when you're writing down the 3 things that can hurt you from achieving your ultimate goal within 90 days, in that example, you would write something along the lines of, my belief that I always make the wrong trading decision. So you want to write 3 things that can hurt you or stop you from achieving your goals within the first 90 days. That's step 1. Now, step 2 is to define your biggest weaknesses. Now, this can be easy. Let's say, for example, you are in the learning phase of your trading, right? A weakness is going to be that you don't have enough experience yet. So that could be one example. Another example could be that you are trusting other people's technical analysis over your own, that you are not scheduling the right amount of time to learn, that you're wasting time, that you're breaking rules, you're over leveraging, things like that. So find your 3 biggest weaknesses and write them down. Now we get to the first 30 days. So the first 30 days is called the transactional period. And the reason that it's called the transactional period is because within these 30 days, we're not actually going to make any steps towards our goal. What we're going to do instead is we're going to solve or try to conquer as best we can our biggest weaknesses. In order to move away from pain and towards pleasure, we have to confront this and we have to solve it. That's why we dedicate the first 30 days to that transactional period of clearing or conquering or doing whatever it takes to turn your weaknesses into your strengths. So you're going to write out 5 things that you can do to help solve or deal with your biggest weaknesses that you wrote in the step prior. For example, let's just say one of your biggest weaknesses was procrastination. You waste a lot of time. Well, one of the 5 things that you can do is design a weekly planner, and for every half hour of the day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you write out what you did in that half hour. I have this weekly planner. I work with it every day, and I jot down in every half hour time slot what I did in that time. And then when it gets to Sunday, I look back over the week and I have a look, where did I waste time? What do I need to cut out so that I can achieve more? And also, what didn't I do that I should have made time to do? And I make notes on that. And then I try not to repeat those same bad habits in the next week. So if you were doing that over a 30-day period, then by week 4, you should have built some new habits. Now, once the 30-day period is done, the next 60 days, so from day 31 to day 90, that's called the transformational period. Like I said, in the first 30 days, if we've conquered our weaknesses and we've started to build new habits, we are now in a different frame of mind and we should be ready to start moving towards the pleasure, right? And that's why it's the transformational phase. So what you're going to do in this part is write down 5 things you're going to do to get you from where you are now to where you want to be by the end of the 90 days. Here's an example. So for me, I own 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗵, online education company, teach people how to trade and invest in cryptocurrency, have a global community, everybody's online, have a global team as well. I think it's time that we ran a live in-person retreat. So in that example, my 5 things could be something like decide the country you want to do it in, decide some venues, lock down a short list of venues, design a budget, lock down a date, and do a rough outline of what we're going to do on the retreat. That's all the detail that needs to go on this plan. I don't need to write paragraphs and paragraphs. In fact, this whole plan should fit on 1 page. Remember I said to you that we don't start this plan with the big vision goal, but the big vision has to fit in somewhere, right? So it fits in here. Now that we've done all of this work to realize what we need to let go of and what steps we need to take to move into our transformational period, we can now work on the next step. And that is step 5, which is the future focus. So the future focus is where you will write your big vision 1-year goal. Now, you want it to be a big goal, something that slightly scares you, but is also realistic. Something that feels a little bit out of reach right now, but you know with really good commitment, hard work, really good focus, you could probably achieve it. For your future focus, you want to write down 5 things that you would like to achieve within the next 12 months. You know, some examples could be, I want to become a full-time crypto trader. I want to increase my crypto portfolio by 20%. I want to reduce my hours at work, or it could even be that you want to just come to my retreat. Now, here's the final part. You have one really important question to answer. And that question is this: if I had to make $10,000 within the next week, how would I do that? Like if it was urgent and you had to come up with the money, how would you do it? Now, once you've thought about it, whatever your answer was, go do that thing. Everything I just told you should fit on 1 sheet of paper. You don't need long, elaborate descriptions with long answers and detailed this. We don't need that. Here's another thing about the rich and successful. They don't draw up time-wasting huge pages of plans and this and that. Everything fits on 1 sheet. It's a short, sharp plan that they can execute. So print out your 1-page document and stick it in every room in your house that you visit on a daily basis. Even if you don't physically read it, your subconscious mind will see it as you walk past it in the morning. Stick it on your bathroom mirror. Put it next to your bed. If you have an office in your house, put it there. Put it in the kitchen. Wherever you normally open your laptop to do your trading or to work every day, or your computer, whatever it is, put it there. Your mind will subconsciously see it every single day. In addition to that, you also need to have a checklist. Again, put it somewhere obvious. Usually the kitchen fridge is the place, or on your office desk if you have an office in your house. But you need to have a checklist that checks off everything that you wrote in that document. If part of your weaknesses was to get rid of something, for example, let's just say you were using this blueprint to improve your health, and one of the things you wanted to stop doing was smoking. Well, when you stop smoking, you have that written there and you tick it once you stop. We need to do this because this releases those endorphins that make you feel good, that make you feel like you're achieving. And once you start checking off those boxes, you're going to want to work harder to try and get them all ticked off. And that also really, really helps you to achieve your goals. In a recent video I did where I was talking about what it takes to actually become a full-time trader, I explained my journey towards adding funds to my account in order to be able to get there. And I actually used this 90-day blueprint to fast track my success into this full-time status, and I was able to achieve that full-time status within 6 months when typically it would take at least a year. So it really can work, and I highly encourage you to have a 90-day plan for every quarter of the year to keep yourself achieving. Also, when you look back on it, it just makes you feel good that you made good use of your time. Even if you don't achieve everything, which we do want to achieve everything, but even if you don't achieve everything, you're like, yeah, I did make some progress in my life in the last 90 days, and now I want to try a little bit harder in the next 90 days. And it's a flow-on effect. Your goals just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, if you found this video helpful in any way, be sure to smash that like button down below and hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But also in the description of this video, I've included a link where you can just download a template for the blueprint, and that saves you putting together your own from the beginning. Now, there was one other thing that I did, which I'll give you as a bonus. You can write this at the bottom of your sheet, or you can keep it separate. They're kind of two separate exercises, but this one's really fast and it's a good one. Now, this one is purely money focused, and I imagine if you're watching this channel, then that's a goal of yours to build wealth, so it probably fits in well. But I want you to think of how much money you would like to make in a year. How much would it take for you to live comfortably? I'm not talking mega rich, yachts and mansions. I'm not talking that. Just what would it take for you to live at a level that you want to live, where you don't have financial stress? Everything is covered, but there's also some extra funds for you to enjoy life. What is that number? So once you have that number, I want you to then break it down into a monthly amount. Then break it down again into a weekly amount, and finally break it down into a daily amount. You see, when you think of that number as a yearly number, it might sound massive to you, and it might be demotivating because it might sound unrealistic, and it might just sound like a dream, and then you don't take any steps towards it because the number just feels too big, and then it just becomes so not actionable. The thoughts go, I wish I won Tats Lotto, right? Like, that's not realistic. It's not the way to think. But when you break that comfortable life number, when you break it down to a daily goal, then let's just say, as an example, a $200,000 a year income, if that was your dream, that would work out to a daily income of $547.94. Doesn't sound as bad, right? And so then there's a part of you that's like, could probably get there. And I tell you one other thing, the way to get to that number is to start thinking about building as many revenue streams as you possibly can. I know most people who watch this channel want to trade, but they also have another job or another business or something like that, right? So trading adds a revenue stream to some other source of income that you have. Fantastic. That's 2 out of the way. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. Therefore, we need 7 sources of income. So once you have your daily number, start thinking about what other things that can I do to start generating more income. I have many ideas on how you can do this, by the way. So if you want a video on different ways to generate income that aren't necessarily trading time for money, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to do a future video on that. Also, once you've tried this blueprint, be sure to let me know if it helped you. Let's go. We've got 90 days to kick some new goals.